Thank you for joining us tonight, this evening, on a truly monumental live sales training, interview, presentation, broadcast, event, whatever you want to call it. My name is Noel Walsh. I'm going to be the host this evening with Conquer What You Chase Sales Training. And I have the pleasure of having the top 2 automotive salespeople in the industry with me tonight on this live presentation, on this live broadcast. And if you don't know them and you're in sales, I feel sorry for you. But the great news is we've got them both here tonight to share their nuggets, what they do to reach the numbers and milestones they reach on a consistent monthly basis, month in and month out, for years and over a decade for both of these gentlemen. So this is a real treat tonight. It's a true honor for me. I'm humbled to be able to be the one to bring this together, but it's never happened before. First off, Frank, will you give a little background about yourself and tell us all who you are, who doesn't know you yet?
Who doesn't know me yet? If you don't know me, that's my fault. That means I'm not out there enough. So that means I'm going to have to start posting more and doing more to get in front of people. But for the 4 or 5 people in the world that probably don't know me, obviously just kidding. I've been at Piazza Honda, the world famous Piazza Honda, for 19 years selling cars, shaking hands, kissing babies. I actually pretend like I run for office every day. I'm looking for people's votes every day. So, you know, that's where we're at. That's who I am. Same place, same store. That's key to do big numbers too. People need to be able to find you, right? So if people don't know where you're at or they can't find you, they're not going to be able to buy from you, and they're not going to be able to refer to you. So staying in the same store for your whole career or most of your career is definitely beneficial for it. But I've been here 19 years. Been selling 100 plus cars a month for the last few years here, and it's all repeat referral business. I'd say about 90% of it, and it just grows and grows from there. You know, people are always, how could you do these numbers? It's impossible. You know, the car guys that are selling 15 cars a month and have to go through every, internet lead and take everything from start to finish. Well, the processes that we have and that, I'm sure Ali implements too is we already have a relationship built with the client, the customer, the community. And if you don't even know them, they're referred into you. So they already feel comfortable. They've seen me on Facebook. They see me with my family. They see everything that we're doing here at the dealership. So it's not like you walk in and you don't actually already know of or know about somebody. So that's what's making my process a lot easier, being out there in front of everybody, so everybody does know who I am.
No, that's a beautiful share, an amazing thing, and I've seen you, and you're definitely great at doing what you do. And so our next is the champ. So I kind of look at you guys as like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, right? And I kind of favored Lou Gehrig because he was just always solid, right? And he never got a tenth of the respect that Babe Ruth got, but he was always solid. And I mean, God bless his soul, they named a disease after him that he played with for 7 years of his career, right? So putting up these monumental stats like you guys do, and he was terminally ill, and they just didn't know it at the time. That's why they named it after him. Right. But we have the next. We have, I think the reason is who's next is Frank's tagline, hashtag who's next. And Ali, it's like, I'm the greatest in the world. It reminds me of Muhammad Ali, right? Like what you have done, Ali, is amazing. The way both of you hold your character, but give us a little share about who Ali Reda is and, your favorite part about you in the business and really what kind of got you to this point thus far.
Yeah, man. First, I want to thank you both for being on here. It's a pleasure to be on here with both of you guys. And, for those of you who don't know me, Ali Reda, I sell Chevy and Cadillac in the Detroit market. I'm a Frank fan. I'm a Noel fan. I've been doing this for about 18 years now. I had to start over in 2010. Dealership that I was working at closed down, so I had to start over. And everybody knows, if you were in the auto industry, you know what we went through in 2008, 9. And, the people that made it through it, I think are really surviving. And that was, tough time for everybody. But I started over in 2010, man, and just, put my heart in it and put my soul in it and said that, I had no other choice but to succeed. And, I didn't set out to I didn't go out to set any records, but just being involved with my community, being involved, hands-on with everything that happened in my community. I mean, those are the type of things that got me to where I'm at. So, everything that I do is built on relationships. My business is slightly a little bit different than Frank's. Frank's a genius at social media. I'm learning so much from him, and I got my notepad here to take some more notes from him. So, I think this is going to be great, man. I'm so proud to be here with you guys.
Well, as I said, I couldn't be more honored to be the one to host this. And I want to thank all, I can't shoot out everybody who's joining us and has given us some nice shout outs, but we have 91 live viewers. And if you guys didn't watch Frank's video that is going viral,
share this right now. I want everybody to share it.
Yes.
I don't want to drop gold nuggets just for you. I want to drop gold nuggets for everybody. Share it.
This is absolute gold. You've got two of the best in the business right here with you tonight. The two best in the business. I mean, I've never seen any numbers like it that I hear 40, 50 cars a month. That's impressive. You guys do 100 cars. I was telling Ali before you got on, Frank, that I talked to you and I'm like, this guy is a champ. And I'm like, he knows it. That's what I like best about you. Yeah, man. Is I'm like, this guy's a champ and he knows it. But he said he had a slow Saturday. He did 15 and he called me back on the drive home. I'm like, man. On my five car days, I wasn't talking to my wife, my kids, or even thinking about anything else. And you were just like a regular guy that, was like, I had 3 good prospects. I'll follow up with them on Monday attitude. But you sold 15 and you knew you could do more. So, I mean, what these guys bring to the table is absolute phenomenon. They are the GOATs, right? They are the Tom Brady's, the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, whoever your person is. But they bring that to the table. So I want to hit, first off, Frank, because you said that, and I think this is very important, is you said that you do 90% repeat and referral business. Right. Where do you get the other 10%? Because a lot of people at your level, with being with one store, the time in the business and the amount of cars you do, right, don't even think about new leads, right? Like it's not worth keeping up with what you have in front of you.
There's times of the day that I'm bored and I'll just go into the CRM and see if there's something in there and call a random customer or something like that. So, people, the first words out of everybody's mouth when they call me is always, I know how busy you are. I have time in my day. I can do it. I can still eat lunch. I can still go on Facebook. I can still post pictures about cars. I can still walk around and do a video about a car. I can still do videos for customers before they come in so they feel more comfortable if they've never met me before. So when I hear people say they don't have time, they don't have time because that's the biggest excuse. I've taken that out of my repertoire. I don't have time. You'll never hear me say it. I might start saying it. I stop because all that is the number one excuse that I always used to make for myself. I don't have time. I don't have time. The reason that me and Ali can get to the numbers that we have is because we have the hunger to get it, right? We want it, so we're going to get it. And then we have the drive. So you can't just want it, right? You have to have the drive to be able to go out there and do it every single day, every morning. You're not always going to wake up and be at a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, but you got to figure out a way to get yourself up to the high numbers that day, right? You can't walk around like a 4 all day, and expect that you're going to sell 10 cars or people that are going to want to be with you. If you don't love being you and that doesn't come out, nobody's going to love being with you, and then on the other hand, we have the belief, right? You have to actually believe this. It can't be rah, 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 and you pump yourself up and then, you go in and something derails you and you lose your belief. It's like listening to a song, get out, you're all fired up for a couple of minutes because you hear this, great song on, on the radio, something that pumps you up, something that fires you up. Well, that fades away after a little while, right? That song's not going to carry you through the whole day, but your belief in what you're doing and how you're going to actually dominate the day with your hunger, your desire, and your drive is what gets us to where we're at right now. So it's really the belief that you can do it. So the people that say you can't do it, there's no possible way. Well, they're the people that are never going to get there anyway, right? They're just going to be stuck in what they're doing every day. But then there's people that they really want to know, they want to learn, they want to understand the processes. And to me, I keep telling everybody, stop questioning how you get to 100 cars. You need to know how you can actually scale your business from where you're at right now. That's the pertinent question, right? Because you're not going to go from 25 to 100 like that. It doesn't work that way. But in the last 5 years, I've been able to double my business. I went from 5 years, about 50 some cars. My nickname was actually Fitty, which actually ate me up for a little while because I knew I was better than that, right? I knew it. And I just stopped making excuses for myself. I had some things happen in my life, some medical stuff that I went through, and I told myself that I was going to stop making excuses for myself, and I was going to go in and put in every day. So in the last 5 years, I've doubled my units and I've tripled my income just by coming in every day with a work plan, a drive, a hunger, and the belief that I can do it. I always had this number of 100 in my head. It was like 100, and it was always just something that was out there. But until I put together a plan and actually put it together of how I was going to get there and scale my business to where it's at now, I could have never achieved that level.
That's amazing. And talking about notes, I mean, you'll always see me on a live stream. I'm taking notes, right? I'm learning from you guys, and I train salespeople, and that's what I do. And I thought I was pretty good until I saw your numbers, and then I ran in the corner and we wept.
But everything's relative, right? You know what I mean? So it's not that your numbers weren't good. It's just like, it's like Bryce Harper, our Philly now. He's trying to compare himself to Babe Ruth, right? Like, how do you do that? You just need to be the best version of yourself now and be willing to grow. And if you can teach that to somebody, then that's where the sales trainer, has the biggest impact on the industry, right? You need to actually be able to explain how you did it as a salesperson,
right?
And show somebody how it's relevant today, in today's market. This is the way that we're doing it. This is the best way to do it. To me, you need to be a better marketer anymore than you do a salesperson in this industry, right? Unless you started 19 years ago. If you're starting out now, to get a name for yourself, I would concentrate more on the marketing. You'll see me with my brand everywhere, my telephone number, my goofy thumb. I got goofy thumbs everywhere. I got sponge thumbs. I got thumb trophies. I got thumbs everywhere. Everybody remembers the guy with the thumb. Car, go see Frank Crinite, guy with the thumb. Boom. So you really want to be more of a marketer almost to get the customer flow coming in, because that's what you need to do big numbers. You need flows of customers. Like you have cash flow to come in to make money. You need customer flows to come in to be able to do big numbers. Same thing.
It's all about the pipeline being full.
All about the pipeline.
And thank you for sharing that. So I want to go back to your statement too, Ali, kind of on what you shared, and that is being active in your community. And I only had one other than today. Frank and I had our second conversation other than text and that. But we spent 35 minutes on the phone. Like I felt like I knew Frank for 20 years, right? Like I didn't feel like, oh, this was a stranger. I don't know what to say. Ali, you and I have had the privilege of speaking over a dozen times.
Yeah.
And you always talk about being involved in your community, and you've done a great job with that. And you live in a unique community.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of that is what Frank's talking about. The first time he's talking to you, it's like your friend. He's like your friend from 20 years ago. So right. Frank and myself, we are the same person outside the dealership as we are in the dealership. Right. That's huge. People don't understand that. So if I run into one of my customers at a grocery store, I'm going to be the same person that they seen at the dealership. And people don't understand how important that is to have customers feel that natural feeling where they can talk to you as a friend. I talked to Frank numerous times over the phone, and him and I feel like we've been friends forever, and it's only been a couple years, right? So because we're the same person, we know who we are. We're not trying to pretend we're somebody we're not. We're not one person at the dealership and a different person in the community. We're the same person throughout, and we know exactly who we are. And like Frank said, we're the best version of ourselves. We do believe. I mean, we believe in what's possible. We believe in ourselves. We absolutely love what we do. That's the difference. We're not waking up in the morning saying, oh gosh, I got to go into my office, or oh gosh, I got to go into the dealership. I mean, we absolutely love waking up in the morning and love what we do. So, and that goes to being involved with the community. I love going to these functions. Frank will tell you, I mean, the Delco foundation that he's doing, he loves attending those things. I mean, look at that. He loves going to those functions. I love going to charity events. And the difference is you got to remember, when you're getting involved with your community, you can't have the motive of, I'm going to go sell somebody something. We're not doing that. So we're not talking about getting out there and sell people. We're talking about get out there and be active. Get people familiar with who you are as a person first, then the salesperson second. You were not out there. You can't show up at a charity event and expect to walk out with 10 sales, but you can expect to walk out with 100 friends. That's the difference. That's your mindset. And the reason why most people quit, the reason why they quit is salespeople, we want this instant gratification. We want to walk into a place and say, well, I went and put my time in this charity event and I spent 2 hours there and I got nothing out of it. So I'm not going back. You think Frank would have gave up? You think I gave up 10 years ago when I started going to charity events and got zero out of it? No, we had a plan. We had a 5-year plan. We were out there building relationships, building our brand name, building friends, more importantly. So when that person comes into the dealership and they're talking to me, it's the same conversation that I have with them at the grocery store or at the ball game. It's the same person. We eliminate, this is the most important thing, we eliminate risk. When a customer feels that the risk has been eliminated and it's not a business transaction, then there you go. You got a friend for life. And I'll guarantee you, Frank and myself, we probably make 80 to 90% of the decisions in our office based on what we advise that customer to do, because we're involved with community, because it's a relationship type sale. So, people just, a lot of people say, well, how do I start? How do I get out there? Where do I go? Get started in anything that you like. I mean, if you like sports, get involved in sports. If you like gardening, get involved with gardening. But you have to have the right mindset of getting involved for the right reasons. And it's not to sell a car. Stop approaching people like you need to sell them a car, and approach them as a friend, a relationship, just like anybody else in your life. You're building a relationship based on you, who you are at your best, period.
No,
it's all just to add to that point. It's really all about what you put in to the community. Like we didn't form this charity to get anything out of it business wise. We run a toy drive. We help run a toy drive in December months for Christmas and the holidays for everybody, for kids down at all the local hospitals. And the toy drive just blew up. So me and the partners that I have, John Port, Mike Mahal, and a bunch of other people, we came up with an idea. We're like, man, we need to give back more, not just toys, right? So, one of our the president of our charities, he's like, man, yeah, we need to we should just form I've been thinking about it for a while. Let's just form a charity. I'm like, I'm in 100%, whatever it is. I'm in all in 100%. And it's a lot of time. Yeah. It's a lot of my own money. I donate. I put my money where my mouth is. I put my money into everything that we do. That's my charity. That's where all my charity money goes. Most of my charity money goes. But I'm not doing it to get anything out of it. I'm doing it because it feels so good. Right. When, we see, a family that we just sent down to the beach, for the week, a little girl, that went through cancer. She's recovering now, sent the family down to the beach, and the community sees that, they see that in you. Why would they want to do business anywhere else? Like, they're going to want to send people into you, but it has nothing to do. Your mindset can't be going to, a charity or go to, a sponsor a football team or something like that. You're going to get instant business out of it. You actually have to grow it. You got to be able to cultivate it. And Ollie's right. So many people, the problem is they get a little bit of resistance, or they get, a little bit of pushback, and they quit. They quit doing the marketing. They quit going out. They quit doing charity work. They quit going to community events. If you're going to quit that easy, you're never going to make it to long term in any business. It's for the wrong reason. Exactly.
They're going for the wrong reasons, and we're not going to get that instant gratification that we want. But I mean, the way we've been trained in this business, it's just been wrong. I mean, you think about it, it's been wrong. So yep. We're trained early on to say, here you go, just go get another one. And this whole thing of go get another one is a one night stand. You're never going to build a career out of that. That might be a job that you're doing while you're going to school, and that might be temporary. But if you're looking to build a career, there is no one night stands. There is no go get another one. there's building relationships with people, and you're not going to do that based on one visit. You're not going to do that based on 10 visits. I've been to charity events 15 times and maybe sold nothing, but I didn't go for that reason. I went there and I made friends, but I guarantee you what's going to happen. The 5th time, the 6th time, people are going to be looking for you. People are going to say, hey, where's Frank? Why is he not here? And then when you get to that point, that's when you know that you're building relationships based on the person that you are, not a salesperson. No other motive.
No, I love that. And that's kind of the old adage, you teach a person to fish, or you give a person a fish, they'll eat for a day, right? You teach a person how to fish, they'll eat for a lifetime. It's if you give a person a lead, right? They might make a sale. If you teach a person how to prospect and grow their business, they'll create an illustrious career like you two gentlemen have.
It's
a couple
career.
Things I want to real quick is, you said real and genuine. So when you're going and you guys are doing these things, it's not to get Frank Crinite out there and Ollie Reda and let everybody see how great you are. It's doing the right thing and knowing that the right things will follow up, but that's not almost, that's not genuinely your ultimate reason for doing, right? You're doing it for the right reasons. And then you follow up with it. I love the 5-year plan. You both talked about in 5 years how you transformed, and most salespeople quit, or most people in general quit before 40 days, right? At anything they do. And so you guys pushed it through and grinded, and maybe didn't always see the results, but you kept going. You believed in yourself, you focused, and you conquered from there. So with that being said, I want to thank all 130 live viewers we have right now. Hit the share button, everybody. We've got Frank Crinite, Ollie Reda right here tonight on this live stream, the two best in the business, maybe of all times. And so, what I want to ask you, and I'm going to ask Ollie this and just flip it around real quick, but who do you attribute your success, accomplishments, and your laurels to?
First, I got to thank my mother, of course, for raising me the way she did. And, I'm a kid from inner city Detroit. I went to Detroit public schools, pretty much raised by a single mother. Maybe things were stacked against me. And, the love and support and compassion that I learned from her is what I carry with me every day. So that's where it starts. And, I've had a couple mentors in my life. I've had the privilege of working with some amazing people. And early on, I worked with a guy named Jerry Turfey, who was all about relationships selling. And, at the time, I didn't know that was a term. I didn't know that was a thing. It seems like this is something new that has been coming out here with social media and everything. But, I watched him do it, and people come in and see him and, getting involved with community. And he's been, a huge figure in my life. And of course, everybody knows Damien. He came into my life in 2010. And, the one thing I'll say about Damien and what he's done for me, it's not so much Damien had taught me how to sell a car. And he didn't teach me tactical things and words and word tracks and none of that stuff. The only thing he taught me how to do is be a better person, be myself to be a better person. And he taught me how to be aware. That was the biggest thing I took from Damien is how to be aware of my position, my customer's position, my customer's current position, their future position. Just being aware of my surroundings and being aware of what's possible. I never would have fathomed that I can hit 60 cars. Like Frank said earlier, I didn't know that 60 or 70 or 80 or 150 was ever possible. When Damien had me write it down and say, write down your goal, write down what you think. And I wrote down 60 the first time I wrote it down. And I was probably averaging 40, 45. And I said, man, if I could get to 60, man, I would be the happiest person in the world. And as soon as Frank touched on this earlier about believing, as soon as I wrote that down, I actually believed it. And when I believed it, it happened. A couple months later, it happened. And then I talked to Damien and he said, well, what's your next number? What do you feel? And I knew there was more. And then I'd get to that next level and that next level and that next level. And I never thought I was going to set a record. I never thought I could sell 200 cars a month. But I believed after that, after seeing what he can do, and he made me aware of what's possible, And all the young people watching this and all the people coming into the business right now, they have an advantage. I mean, this is an amazing, amazing time for people to come in. We didn't have this. We didn't have any of this. We had to learn this on our own. So the young people coming up right now, this is the right way of doing business. Frank and I support you. We're here. We're doing this because we feel that there's a better way. We feel our industry deserves it. And, just being aware and believing in what's possible, it is just going to do amazing, amazing things for our industry.
No, spot on. And, once again, thank both of you for doing this. I mean, you guys are super busy. You both have families. You both have households. You both have commutes, all these things. And you guys are giving back. There's no compensation. It's just because you want the business to be a better place. Everybody talks about this like it's the tagline. But ultimately, I always look like, really, what are you doing? And where do you see the holes in the business? Because there's a lot of good people in the business, correct?
There's a lot of great people in the business.
Yeah, and the business
that's one of the things too. I want to thank
some of the best people I ever met
too. So
I want to get back to you. So Frank, you share with us who do you attribute your success, accomplishments, and ultimately
my mom used to sell door-to-door Avon, and I used to go with her, and I would listen to her sales pitch all the time, and her persistence in it, and it like ingrained it in me from when I was a young kid, to always be selling, just to always be talking to people and putting myself out there. But it's crazy. I've had a lot of people ask me, who were my mentors, who were the trainers that I listened to, and it's crazy, but I actually believe that I was able to get to the big numbers because I didn't listen to all the trainers that were only telling me what the ceiling was, right? So there's a lot of trainers that say, hey, 25 cars a month, 30 cars a month, 40 cars a month. And I get what they're doing. They're trying to teach to the masses. And, that's where everybody, thinks that the big money's at. And that's where they're trying to lift everybody up from getting to, the 10 car a month to, 20 to 30 to scale it. I get it. But I believe that if I would have listened to a lot of the trainers that were telling me that was my ceiling, I would have been patting myself on the back the entire time when I got there, rather than when people would say, oh man, you're doing a great job, 50 cars, I would take it in for a little bit, but then I knew there was more. I knew there was a way. So I figured it out myself, my own way. So in ways I was my own mentor. I had a lot of mistakes along the way, but I figured them out. I figured out a way to overcome the obstacles. I figured out a way to get my own pipeline of customers rather than, rely on internet leads or, standing at the door. There's a bunch of salesmen that still stand outside at every dealership, but, at my dealership, I call them my doormen. You know what I mean? They just open the doors for my customers all day. Hey, you're here to see Frank? No problem. Let me open the door for you, rather than they should be doing a social media post, doing follow-up, figuring out what they can do in the community to grow their name, to get their name out there like that. Like me, there's a lot of new guys that always start, new girls start to come in. They're like, we want to be just like you. Okay, great. No problem. You need to know what it took to actually get here. You don't just show up, post a couple things on Facebook, throw a couple cars up on there and stand there and the world just starts coming into you. This is a lot of hard work, and then once you get the machine flowing, you become the hunted rather than the hunter. So we're both kind of in the same position. Managing our day is, it's more, we're just trying to delegate, to get everybody through the day, get them in, get them out, make sure they're having a great experience customer wise. And when I say get them in and get them out, we don't shortcut the stuff that's important to a customer. They're going over the car, showing the dealership, building value with everything. That's the important stuff. A lot of the other stuff's not that important to a car deal anymore. There's a customer over here that wants to buy something. There's a salesperson over here that wants to sell something. And we put up all these little barriers and obstacles to slow everything down. We just take the process and take all the fluff and all the BS out of it and give everybody the real right there. And that's what makes the process great. That's why people want to refer people in. That's why people want to come back and buy cars. I get referrals from people that have never bought a car from me before. They've never even stepped foot in my dealership. They don't own a Honda. They never bought a used car from me. They refer people into me all the time. So referral business is huge for me. Me and Ali have the same methodology. We just go about it a little bit different. Half of my business is pre-owned cars. So Ali does mostly 95%, new car business. So the referral business from where I'm at is huge. Reputation is the biggest thing, not just in the car business, but the used car business. We step up, we take care of any problems. There's problems that come up during the day. I take care of all my own problems. I see salespeople, the littlest thing, they run to a manager every time. The littlest thing, they run over to the service department. I step up, I get involved. I always tell everybody, I'm not here just to sell you a car and never see you again. I want to be your guy. I'm your guy. You have anything, automotive question, anything about insurance, body shop, anything about anything. I know so many people. I get customers call me like, listen, you seem to know everybody. Do you have a plumber? Absolutely, I got a plumber. I got a tow guy. I got a plumber. I got an electrician. I got a general contractor. I got a wallpaper guy. I have a guy for everything, because you know what? I want them calling me for everything. I've been giving my cell phone number out. They gave me the cell phone number. Like, God created me to be a car salesman. 484-368-9000. They handed me that number when I walked in to get a cell phone. I didn't ask for it. They just gave it to me. So everybody in the world thinks that's the dealership number, because I've been giving that number out, text messages in that number. When I had somebody's phone in my hand, back in the day when you had to Bluetooth it in by hand, I'd put my name, I'd put my number, store it in their phone, Frank Honda, so they'd always be able to find me. Anytime they call the dealership at 6 o'clock in the morning, my phone starts ringing. I never say, hey, this isn't Piazza Honda. I say, hang on 1 second, I'll transfer you over. I three-way call them right into the service department. I want everybody to have that white glove Bentley customer experience, right? So full transparency when you come in here, 100%. It's your buying process. It's not my selling process. I'm here to make sure that, we walk you through every step that you need. Not everybody needs every step. I see everybody teaching the road to the sale. You have to do this, in this order. You absolutely do not. People hate getting put through steps. They don't want to do that. It's their buying process. Let them dictate what it is, and you can walk them through everything. It'll go for a much easier process, much more referrals. People will want to come back and buy a car from me. So I've been giving my cell phone number out forever. Transparency. Just want to be their guy. I have a guy for everything, right? So you want to be their guy for everything. So
and again, Frank is the same guy outside the dealership as he is in the dealership. People don't understand how important that is.
It's 100% important. You have to be genuine. People can smell phony. People can smell fake, right? If you're a sleazy salesman, or you're just somebody trying to sell somebody something, and get them out of there and just make some money, it's not the way it works. You know what I mean? Then you are just turning and burning customers.
Again, but Frank, you'll get 15% of them. Right. You'll get a 15% closing ratio if that's what you're after.
Yeah, if that's what you're after. I'm after 80 to 90 closing percentage.
And the other 10% is because you chose not to sell them. The other 10% is because it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right vehicle. It wasn't the right customer for us. We're at the point now. I mean,
I had a girl here today that the payment would have been almost $600 a month, and she definitely couldn't afford it, and she wanted the car. And I sat down to her. I went over her budget with her. I explained to her why $600 a month is going to get real old real fast, plus insurance, plus gas, plus maintenance, plus, right? Then you're going to hate this car. You're going to hate the process. You're going to hate the dealership. You're going to be aggravated at me. I said, I've done this a long time. Let's take a step back. Let's not make it a full emotional decision, right? Let's try to figure this out with logic. So we're coming back tomorrow. We have another car picked out. It's $250 less a month. The insurance is less on it, cheaper on the car. We're probably going to end up going with that car. She can afford it. It's in her budget. But to me, I almost like to be the Dr. Phil of the dealership, right? I want to make sure that I'm giving everybody, the not just here's the payment, you can afford it, push.
It doesn't benefit anyone.
It doesn't benefit anyone.
It doesn't benefit her. It doesn't benefit the dealership.
It doesn't benefit. It doesn't
People
benefit
don't understand that. And she's going to respect and love you more for what you've done, because that payment in 3 months will get old, and that person's going to come back to you and they're going to say, well, you did this to me. So how do you explain to somebody that you did that? So all of a sudden you became the advisor. You became, like you said, the Dr. Phil, and she's going to love and respect you more for that.
No, you're spot on there, and that's one of your favorite words we've used before in previous interviews is advisor, right? Is where do we all go? To TripAdvisor, we go to this. We're looking for an advisor who knows and has data that we can see. Right. And so we're not an advisor, and we're not just, what both you gentlemen talked about. I think Frank touched base on it, but customers can tell when you're just trying to sell them, right? Commission breath. And I remember when I looked at a customer and they walked in and I was like, how much can I make on them? Or how can I sell them? When I switched my mentality to how can I serve them,
right,
I sold twice as much and I made, like Frank said, 3 times as much.
Right.
Because I had a mentality shift, right? Like I wasn't about how much can I make, right?
And you feel better. And you feel better as a person.
The money's just a byproduct of your success. If you're a successful person, the money's always going to be there. So, you know, people want to, I never shy away from talking about money. Like people really want to have a money conversation. I'm okay. I'm very comfortable businessman. I can have a conversation about money. But at the same point, money is shouldn't be the driving factor, right? You're Babe Ruth. You're up in the, game 7 of the World Series and you got to, get a double to get the run in, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Are you thinking about your contract? Are you thinking about your next contract? As a great player, is he thinking about his next contract, his next deal? No, you're the task at hand. What is the task at hand? How do we accomplish getting it done right now, right? So you can't be worried about what the monetary goal is. Money's very important. I know where all my money's at. It's invested all over the place. But at the same point, I don't concentrate on the money. It'll drive you nuts. It'll absolutely drive you nuts. You got to have your goals. You got to see where you're at. You got to be able to push your income to different levels. But you'll do that by being successful. So if you concentrate more on just your success than you do the money, then it'll work out a lot better. Money's just a byproduct.
And it'll come, it'll come. I mean, in this business, everybody knows that money comes with quantity. The manufacturer chases the units, the dealership chases numbers, they chase the units. So why are we not thinking the same thing? That mini deal might be the bonus deal. That mini deal, 3 mini deals, you might get 3 more referrals, and all of a sudden you're in the bonus program. Right. So all the young people, what I suggest a lot of people to do is stop chasing the actual number. Stop saying I'm at 12, I need to be at 14. I'm at 25, I need to get to this number. Just forget about the number for a minute. I never know where I'm at throughout the month. I have no idea where I'm at.
No clue.
No clue. Frank, no clue. And
I got to give that credit. I got to give that credit to Damien though, because he told me not to micromanage my number.
You can't.
And it's actually changed. It makes me so much more relaxed. I don't worry about it. Wherever I'm just going to sell as many cars as I can. It doesn't make a difference.
That's it. It doesn't matter. And you don't want that number to dictate what you're doing. I don't want to say that, I need 3 more to hit 100, or I need 3 more to hit 120. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's going to fall where it's going to fall. I'm going to help that next person. So for people saying that I want to get to this next number and chasing, counting the board every single day, that becomes your mission. Your mission is to get to this number. Forget about that. Just cancel that for now. Try it like this for a couple months. Don't think about the numbers and just help the next person in front of you. And I promise you, you're going to do better.
Well, I like that how your philosophy lined up on one of your previous comments too, and you guys are both spot on philosophy. But you talked about that about networking, right? Don't go to one event and say, I gave out 10 business cards and I got 5 names and I emailed them and I called them and I texted them and nobody got back to me, so this doesn't work, right? And same thing with your number,
right?
If you're exactly on it, and I've had conversations with both of you because as salespeople, what do we ask each other, right? Where are you at? How many you got out, right? Like
I used to do a Facebook post and I'd be like, oh man, I only got 25 likes on this post, man. I must have lost my juice, right? It doesn't matter, right? All you need to do is keep putting yourself out there. Yeah. People are scrolling just because they're not liking. They're seeing me every single day. I'm in your face. My used car manager's sitting on his phone today and he's scrolling through and I was laughing. He goes, every freaking post on here is for you. I thought I was on your page and he wasn't. He was just on his page. Yeah, I just want to keep myself out there, right?
You're on his newsfeed, right?
I'm on everybody's newsfeed. If they befriend me because I'm on their newsfeed, I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal. I still love you. If I see you outside the store, I mean, I'll say hi to you too. I'll shake your hand. It doesn't matter. Just you weren't interested in what I was doing. But I'm going to put my family stuff out there. It's not all work. If you go on my Facebook page, it's not work. That's maybe 25% of it. It's what am I doing with my family? What am I doing with the Philadelphia Eagles? What am I doing, with the community? What are we doing with our charity? These are all things that you want people to know, right? It endears you to a person. If somebody's already feels like they're your friend because they are, I spend probably 20% of the time talking about a car when they're here. The rest is, I seen Anthony was at the zoo with your wife yesterday. I didn't even know Anthony was at the zoo what my wife was yesterday, but they're following me, right? So they see it all day. They want to talk about stuff. They already feel like they're your friend, and they are. This is the new friendship, right? So I would never be able to really know Ali the way that I know him now, even though we have good phone conversations, and we've grown our friendship in the last year, and I hope to grow it even more. If it wasn't for Facebook. So it's like if you were out at a restaurant and somebody waved to you, and you just kind of shunned them off. That's what Facebook is. Somebody comments on a post that you're doing and you don't comment back, it's like you got a wave and you didn't respond back to that person. I'm going to get up, I'm going to walk over, I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? Great to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Can I get you, a drink at the bar afterwards? Or, we're hanging out. How's the family? You want to have a conversation. So you're doing the same things that you do in real social life that you're doing in social media. I don't think everybody really gets that. Like this is social interaction. Now,
Frank,
moving forward.
Can you explain to a lot of people on social media, can you explain to them the negative things that they put on Facebook actually hurts them? And a lot of people, you're a master at this, but you put all positive things about your family. But sometimes I see these posts with people posting just, I don't know. Just
there's so many times that I want to comment on some people's posts, right? But you can't. I have a Facebook 10 commandments that I wrote, and one of them is never, 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 ever, no matter what in anything, talk about politics, because it doesn't matter, right? All you're going to do is piss off half your customer base, no matter which side you pick. You're never going to be able to win. So I see all these salespeople on there arguing about, politics or, commenting on things they shouldn't be commenting on. Like if you couldn't put it in front of your kids or put it in front of your mother, then don't put it on there. I mean, you could be a little quippy and, a little fun with everything, but that's some of the biggest stuff, man. Using, curse words on there, you're going to alienate your customer base. Talking about, talking negatively about people's religion or, or sexual preferences, or there's a lot of stuff going on in the media right now. If you get wrapped up in all that, great. You have 50% of your customer base that loves you, and you got 50% of your customer base that hates you. So I never want to get involved in that. Like I had somebody the other day say, man, you should run for mayor. I'm like, that would be the worst thing that I could ever do. He's like, no, you would win. I'm like, no, I would lose. I would lose. I wouldn't be able to do as much in the community as I'm doing now, as a mayor or a politician, because all you're going to do is alienate and aggravate at least half of the people that are out there. So if you're in Facebook land right now and, you're one of these young guys or young girls or, even not young, and you're just posting, rants about things, you're doing it totally wrong. Totally wrong. And if you think people aren't watching, you have 2 pages. Like I have a business page. People see everything, man. Yeah, they see everything.
Half the stuff a lot of these guys are posting, and like you said, I can't even comment on it. I'm like, I can't believe they're even putting that on there. Right. So I mean, people are watching. So just be conscious,
And I'm a good arguer. I love a good argument too. But to do it on social media, it's not going to win. You're not going to win. You're going to lose. You're going to lose.
No, and Ali and I have talked about this before. We've all heard this line, but somebody's always watching, right? Mm-hmm. Especially like gentlemen.
Everybody's always watching.
Right. And
everybody.
And you said too about, staying consistent, that I was the same way. And I went to a conference that you spoke at the latest one. Grind. And I spoke, and I must have had 30 people. I didn't even know their name from Facebook. And they came up to me and they're like, Noel, man, I love your videos. Like your content's on. And this and that, and I'm like, well, I shared that in a video that really didn't go that far, right? Like I've had videos
they've seen it, but people see it,
and I don't remember them liking it, right, or sending me a friend request, but they're seeing it, and so it comes back to that in your effort. My new thing is how I judge people is I see the energy and the effort they put in, right, and their true intentions.
Yeah, you want to change your life right now. I mean, you actually want to change business and your life right now. Start right now. Be the most positive person in the room right now, every time. You might not be the most talented. You might not be the best marketer. You might not be the best salesperson. You might not be the best at any other thing. If you want to change your life and you want people to feel attracted to you as far as you hanging around with you or want to be with you or want to refer into you, Be the most positive person. Be annoyingly positive. That negative people just, they walk away from you. People walk up to me, hey, man, how's it going? Man, another great day at Piazza Honda. How you been? People are like, whoa, what's this guy doing, man? You know what I mean? You always have to have the positive answer. I high-five the mirror in the morning. Boom. I love being me. I'm getting myself psyched up for positivity. I'm listening to audiobooks on the way in. It's all positive. I shut off the sports talk radio. I used to get in the car. I listen to sports talk radio. That stuff gets in your head, that negativity. Philadelphia.
Even at the dealership, Frank, even at the dealership.
Oh, you got to water cooler talk. I call it water cooler talk. Stay away.
There's downtime. There's a lot of downtime in the dealership. So we get it. You get those butterflies in your stomach. You're like, I'm never going to talk to another customer again. I'm never going to see anybody. So you find a group of people that feel the same as you. And next thing you know, the day is gone and your energy level is down and you're not positive. There's a lot of don't do's that people need to follow in dealerships. I mean, and that's one of the things that you should not be doing, hanging out, talking about the game for 12 hours. I love my coworkers. Frank loves his coworkers. But there's a time and place for it. When I go to work, I go to work. We're there. We show up. We show up the best person that we can be. Like you said, be positive, and your energy level. There's so many don't do's, and that hit on the head, man. Just stay away from a lot of those things and be positive.
Yeah, I'm the world's biggest Eagles fan in the world. And Monday mornings I come in here and I'll talk about the Eagles for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Great. I was at the game. We've seen you on TV, we've seen you at the touchdown. I got, first row seats. So strategically too. So, if anybody wants to see me, boom, they're going to see me on TV with the green hair. I changed my color of my hair, usually game day. But at 1 o'clock rolls around, I don't still want to be talking about the Eagles. I want to be dominating my day all day, right? And if we're wasting time talking about the Eagles still, we should be wasting time making phone calls or text messaging customers or doing a Facebook Live or training, right? These are all things that we can do. You could be role playing in the showroom rather than talk about, the quarterback threw an interception. It's not going to put any money in your pocket.
You can educate yourself with anything now, Frank. I mean, you can watch this video. You could go on a lot of these trainers. I mean, there's so much you can do to educate yourself. And
so much virtual training out there.
Not get drawn into that negativity and that downtime because it can be brutal. I mean, we get it. I've been there. We've been there where you don't see a customer, you don't see anybody walk in, and it's brutal, but you got to stay positive in those times.
So let me ask you this, because that's a good question. So talking about the things that you guys have talked about up to this point, I'm going to start with Ali first. What do you recommend for salespeople who really rest in their laurels, right? Their previous accomplishments. We've all seen the guy who does, or gal who does 30 cars, and then they come back with an 8, right?
Yeah.
And then they come up with a 20, then they come back with an 11. And, so you talked about being positive, staying away from the water cooler, listening to stuff in the morning, but what do you really recommend for people like, and you guys shared a lot about this, but just maybe take a minute or two each to like what you really did to like, you built every month rather than saying, oh, I did 60 cars. No, nobody does that stuff, right? I'm sitting back. I'm Frank Crinite. I'm Ali. I'm Reda. I deserve this, right? Like the universe owes me this. How do you keep that mentality, that consistency, that passion, that drive, that ambition to really just constantly push forward and be like, okay, 80 is now 90, is now 100, is now 110, is now this, and just keep pushing?
It is just staying humble. It's staying humble and being appreciative and feeling blessed for being where we are, because it could be taken away at any point. You got to have consistency. All high achievers have consistency. They all have 3 or 4 things that they do every day. Frank has 2, 3 things that he does every day. High fives himself. He does certain things. So you have to have that consistency. If you have a great month and you sit back and you're like, what just happened? How did I get to this? How did this happen? You need to write that down. You need to go and write down your process. You need to say, okay, this is what I did. This is how I felt. How did I feel this month? What felt different? Again, you got to be aware of what just happened. You can look back and say, if you just did 30 one month and because the programs were good and the next month the programs were bad and you did 8, what did you really do? You just served more people. You just helped more people. So you have to have that consistency. You have to know what you are great at. You have to understand what you're not so good at. But it all starts with process. It all starts with your process. So every single young person or veteran, anybody on here, if you don't know your process, you need to go back and write that down. You need to go in and everybody should write down their whole day. Everybody should go back to work tomorrow, the next day, and write down everything you did in 15-minute increments. Every 15 minutes, write down. I went to the bathroom. I helped this. I walked a lot. I talked about the game. And then go back and read that. And don't share it with anybody. Be truthful to yourself. This is for you, only for you. And go back and read it. And you're gonna look at that shit and you're gonna say, oh my God, look how much time I wasted throughout the day.
So that's what everybody says to me. How in the world? So I flip houses. I'm heavily involved in our charity and other charities that are out there. I have rental properties that I manage myself. I probably shouldn't be, but I manage myself. I'm trying to do as much as I can with my kids. You know, I take most weeks I'll work 4 days a week. This month I'll probably work a lot of weeks 5 days a week, just because we're going to be so busy. Sell 100+ cars a month. Still have time to go out and golf. I'm going to a golf outing on Friday. Still have time to do everything that I want to do. If I wasted 5 hours of my day watching Netflix, right? Or I wasted 3, 4, or half the day here just BSing with everybody. And that's not saying I don't sit around and talk to everybody every once in a while for a few minutes, right? You still got to have camaraderie. People say all the time that all the other salespeople at the dealership hate you. And I walked around. Ken Walsh was here. He goes, all the other salespeople hate you. I just watched you sell like 8 cars, and I don't think they've had a customer yet. So I walked around to every one of them and asked them. I said, "Do you hate me?" They're like, "Why would we hate you?" Ken's like, "I didn't want you to ask everybody." I'm like, "I don't know. Let me go ask everybody. I already know the answer." No, because I help everybody, right? I try to anybody that has a question, anybody in an organization. I just did a great training seminar for our organization, the Piazza organization. They were gracious enough to have me, out and do a training seminar for them. And I get bombarded with inboxes and questions. Hey, we're doing this. Are we doing it right? Like, you have to be willing to give back. I have enough time because I take all the stuff that's unimportant out. I probably haven't really sat down and watched TV since like March. Like, I can't remember a TV show that I've actually watched. Like, I'll watch a little bit of a Phillies game here or there, but a little bit of the Sixers when they were in playoffs. I don't waste my day. No. If I go to a game,
at the beginning
it's a marketing event for me. So I don't know if you see, but I'm in the front row everywhere. People are like, "How'd you get those tickets?"
At the beginning of this, Frank said, "I have time." He has time for more. If you're out there complaining about you don't have time, or how do I have time to go to a charity event because you chose to watch TV, like you say, and the couch sounds good at times. I'm not saying it doesn't.
I like a good nap every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, but if Frank has time, if I'm working 4 or 5 days a week. I work 50 hours. I'm 50 hours a week. So if I have time to do those things after work, if I have time to still deliver 100+ cars and still have time to do that, nobody should be complaining about anything. I still have time for my family. I still have I'm at the lake every single weekend. I'm with the family. So I'm still doing those things and we're still delivering those. Again, process. There's a flaw in your process. There's a reason why the industry says you can only deliver 30. Why is 30 elite? Why is everybody chasing 30? Because nobody believes that there's enough time in the day that you can deliver more than 30 because your process is flawed. It's flawed. Write it down. Figure out where the flaws are.
I can deliver 5 cars at the same time with ease, and I'm no ridiculously great salesperson. Like, and Ali will tell you this too. Like, if I said sell me that pen, he's not going to be able to sell me that pen. He's going to be a bumbling, guy. Like, the buy it because it's got good ink. You know what I mean?
That just says mom on it.
Buy the pen, right? You're going to smile. You're going to be able to give it to me. But at the same point, we understand the process. We understand the buying experience that a customer actually wants. We're able to take them from A to Z and take all the alphabet out in the middle and just get them through the process. And it's in your heart, right? That's going to get you. That's going to get you the referrals. There's so many times I ask everybody after I'm done, did I do a great job for you? That's all I want to know. Did I do a great job for you? People are like, man, I can't even believe I bought a car. The last time I was at a dealership, I spent 6 hours there. I walked in at 11. It's like 12:15 now. We went through the whole process, paperwork, everything, and they're done. Like, why does it have to be harder? What really changed my whole mindset is when I started really going back and reading my surveys years ago, and I never cared about the perfect surveys, because surveys to me are a lot of baloney anyway. It's, give me tens, give me yeses, yeah. It's the whole industry is flawed with the perfect survey, but that's a different thing. I would go through and read all my bad surveys, and the only things that were always pop out were time to complete the process, not being given all the information before they went into finance, and how to make a decision right there. So to me, they were the two things that I needed to figure out how to change the process of the car buying experience to speed up the time. And the only way you do that is if you shorten the process by not taking out the important stuff, right? Take out all the stuff that's not important, figure out what it is. Every customer doesn't need the whole dog and pony show, and give all the information right up front. Warranty, gap, whatever they're asking, or even might not be asking. Well, I'm going to present that, or I'm going to introduce you to my business manager way earlier in the process than some other people, some other processes have them do. So they were the two biggest things that stick out. And if everybody looks at their surveys and actually looks at the bad ones, they'll probably end up being the two things that stick out: time to complete the process, not giving the right information, not being transparent. So if you really want to change the game, and my general manager from the beginning, when I first started, he never went with the negative connotations that were like, he would always frown upon all that stuff, like all the clicks that you get in, and the stupid sayings that we have, when it's a big deal, or ups and stuff like that. Like, he would frown upon that stuff, and I'd be like, okay, well, I don't want to do this stuff, right? So I would always just try to figure out a way just to be me, just be a regular guy. Like, why can't I just be me and still sell a car, right? Why do I got to turn into somebody else and sell a car? And why do I have to go through this negative connotation stuff that everybody else is using and listening to and saying every day, and being negative? All that stuff it negatively clouds your mind. I want to get all that stuff out. Mindset is the most important part of all of this, of life in general, but of all this sales stuff. It's all mindset. You have to believe. You got to be positive. So you start being positive, the most annoyingly positive person you can be, it will change your life. It'll change the people you attract to you. It'll change it'll get the negative people away from you, because you don't want to be in that negative circle now with this positive guy, because he's not in the cool clique anymore. I don't need to hang out in the 15 car cool clique. I'm good. I have enough friends. Not a big deal. I don't need any more friends. I'm sure I'll get some, but I don't need the 15 car club friends to be, to make me feel good about myself.
And the other thing you gain from that too, real quick, is by being authentic and being yourself. When somebody comes back 2 years later and talks to Frank, he's the same person they remember 2 years ago. If you're not authentic and you're not that person and you're a different person, when they come back, and they're going to look back and they're going to say, holy crap, who is this guy? This guy's completely different than the guy I met 2 years ago. And you multiply that by people, multiply that by years, and career.
Big residuals. Big residuals.
Multiply that by how all those individuals are playing that back to their network that they sent you, right? That Frank changed, right? He's not the same Frank. Or Ali's, Ali now, he broke the record. He's all cocky and arrogant, and he doesn't want to give you the time of day that you don't need. So, because I remember that. I remember I'd always fight for money when I had a customer, and they're like, wow, you're 1,000 short on the trade. And I'm like, hey, they know like 12 people that buy from me, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this is the time we got to just kind of like buy this deal on the trade-in, right? Like, because they know so many people that it's not just this deal. It's the Franks that they know, the Ollie's that they know, the Sarahs that they know, all these other people that they know that they say, oh, hey.
You have to stretch out sometimes for people, but at the same point, if you're doing everything the right way and there's an express lane for people to check out and to get the process, they won't shop you. They'll pay you a little bit more money. I pay for efficiency every single day, right? I pay for faster internet. I pay for somebody to cut my lawn so I don't have to do it. If there was an expressway right here and I had to stop at a red light, I would pay whatever that was to do it, right? So people will pay for efficiency. They'll pay for not high pressure, right? They won't pay a ton more, but they'll pay a little bit more than the market bears. I had somebody here the other day, well, why shouldn't I go down to your sister store down in Philadelphia, Honda, and buy this car? They have it advertised for $150 less. I said, they don't have Frank Crinite down there. I'm giving you my cell phone number.
Right.
Anything you need, I have you 100%. I've been here 19 years. I'm not going anywhere. You need something, you call me, you text me. You have a problem with in service, the body shop, you have an issue you can't resolve, I'm here for you. I think Frank Crinite's worth $150, don't you? She goes, absolutely. Let's do the deal. Just yesterday, I'm like, oh man, that worked. It was great. It was
I'm
great.
ready to give you my credit card.
Yeah, she just wanted to know why. All the customer wanted to know is, why should I give you a little more money? And I presented it to her. I'm going to be totally transparent with you. I'm not luring you in with any type of, ads or, come in today and your trade's worth whatever. We go through everything every single day the right way.
When you're dealing with those type of people, when you're dealing with relationships, there's less obstacles. There's less problems that come up. So that's why it's important to have these referrals and repeat customers coming back. You're not going to face these obstacles. Did we lose him?
He's frozen.
I still think, yeah.
We could just talk.
Yeah. So what's going on this weekend, buddy?
How do you get your teeth so white? That's what I need to know. I got to go to your dentist. You're beautiful.
Oh. There he is.
We might have him back.
There he is.
Finally, I just got kicked out. And
See, you should have paid for better internet, right?
Yeah.
More efficiency.
I live in the valley, and it's not the greatest. Hopefully you guys don't have the reverb. Do you?
I didn't hear you.
Do you guys have the reverb?
It's going in and out.
Okay.
The volume's going in and out a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think it's on our end.
I'm good. All right, there he is. You're good.
Okay.
There you go, buddy.
Indeed.
Might
be that Boston Celtic jersey in the background.
That's what I was thinking, man. I was hoping he wasn't going to say Jordan Bird.
Oh yeah, you would have killed him.
I'm good with that. Maybe Will Chamberlain or something.
Yeah, that would have been good. Old school. We're good. We'll give him a minute here, bud.
I got Anthony Santangelo standing outside the door stalking me.
Is he there?
He's standing here. He's stalking me on the other side of this window here. The cleaners must have let him in. I'll have to get the bouncers over here.
He's from Philly too, right?
Yeah, he lives in the same town I do, Glen Mills.
Nice.
Yep. So I'm gonna have to get you out here, man. We got to get you to the East Coast.
I got to come out there for sure. I got to come out there. I'm gonna come up to a baseball game or something.
I'll take you to an Eagles game or something.
Oh, that hurts. Oh yeah, that would be pretty.
We'll wait till they're playing the Lions or something like that.
Yeah, well, or New England.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to come out there anyways. I've been thinking about just kind of hitting different cities with baseball games.
Yeah, that's what me and my son been doing. We've been doing.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Boston this year, and I think Pittsburgh are our two towns we're gonna go to.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I might make a trip out there anyways.
All right, so I think we lost Noel, so we might have to just do this ourselves. So
yeah. So where do we go?
Well, to me, the last 5 years, you've grown exponentially. I've grown exponentially, like crazy. And, to me, it's been one of the biggest booms in the industry in the last 5 years. So if you've been in the industry that entire time and your numbers haven't exploded, if your dealership's numbers, forget about just the salespeople, if your dealership's numbers haven't exploded, then you're doing it the wrong way. There's something broke in your process, right? So either you got to learn from people that are doing it the right way. There's a lot of wrong ways that I see dealerships doing things right now. And,
Frank, look, the problem is they're being trained the wrong way. So the whole training process from the beginning is everybody's kind of trained the wrong way. So the way that we've been trained to do this business is completely wrong. And I know you're working on some things to kind of bring out to people.
Sure.
I'm working on some things to kind of bring out to people so they can understand it a little more. It took me 12 years to get to that point. It took me 12 years. It wasn't overnight, but I had to struggle to get there. And now what these young people coming in have, they have people like us, kind of paved the way. And we went through the trials and errors, and they're going to be so much further ahead than we are by understanding the right way of doing this business. I mean, it's like Damien says, it's a gold mine. I mean, it is.
This industry is
unbelievable.
You can make out very, very well without any education, without without having to go to college, some people don't have to graduate high school. If you're a people person and you're a genuine person and you're willing to learn and you're hungry and you have belief in yourself, belief in the dealership that you're working at, you have the drive, then you can be very, very successful in this business, and it can happen fast.
So people in our industry, they're always sold on this. You can make $100,000 a year, right? I mean,
a month.
We don't talk about money because we don't like to talk about that. But let's be real for a second, and let's just bring this up. First, when I first got hired into the business, that's what I was sold on. You could make $100,000 a year, and I was sold on that. I'm like, holy crap, I can do that. I was making like 50 grand. The possibilities of this business, just like Frank just said, it's possible to make $100,000 a month. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's not hearsay. I'm telling you that it's possible. I'm telling you that you can get to those numbers, but it can't be the way that you were trained to do the business. It's got to be it's got to be through relationships. It's got to be through community. It's got to be, even when you're on social media, but you're still community. You're not doing social media.
It's so much easier nowadays. When I started doing it,
right,
I'm actually going basically door to door to all these body shops, insurance agents. Like, they would come in here and try to get me to give them business. I'm like, man, well, why don't I just flip the script? Why don't I go to these insurance agents? If they want me to give them business, then I want them to reciprocate. When somebody calls up for a quote on a car, why wouldn't they recommend my name if they want me to recommend? So I have 4 or 5 insurance agents that I work with. Like, I went door to door to find these people.
You were thinking
other service shops, pizza shops, restaurants. There was a streak for a while. I hope my barber isn't listening, but there was a streak for a while that I used to go to a hairdresser, and I went to this salon, and it was like a high-end salon. It was a $50 haircut, $60 haircut, whatever it was. They shampoo you, your hair feels amazing with whatever they put in it. You're like tingling, it's great. But I sold the whole shop cars, right? And I'm like, man, this is great. So I started switching hairstyle and stuff like every 3 months. I would just go to different places. To get known. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. Okay. And it worked.
Let's touch on that for a second. Let's touch on that for a second. So there's a difference of you walking into a salon, and pick this up, guys. Pick this up. Think about this. There's a difference about you walking into a salon, sitting down, getting a haircut, and leaving, or walking into a salon and making a presence. Right. Making a presence, getting to know everybody, getting familiar with everybody, making friends with everybody. And then ultimately they're going to say, hey, what do? You don't have to
just keep showing up until they know you.
Keep showing up.
Keep showing up until they know all about you. But your family, your friends, what you do, what your interests are.
Sit in the back corner, have your meal, and leave. You can't just do that. You go make a presence. You go find out about the waiter or waitress. You go find out about who's in the kitchen. Ask the manager where they're from. Your intentions are not to sell a car. Your intentions are to make a friend.
Right. That'd be like saying, I'm going to go to my cousin's wedding because I'm going to sell, 3 or 4 cars there. No, you're going to your cousin's wedding because it's your cousin's wedding. You love them, you respect them, right? You want to see everybody. You want to have fun. You want to dance. You want to be out talking to everybody, telling them what you're doing, how they're doing, asking them more about. You don't want to talk about yourself the whole time, right?
No,
I want to know how everybody. I'm tired of talking about myself. Believe it or not, I'm tired of talking about myself. But
yeah, nobody cares.
You have to show up. You have to keep showing up. What's that?
There's no back?
I doubt it.
You guys see me?
Yeah, there he is. Oh, you fixed it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened, but I was just happy to actually be in the corner and just. I
think it was that Celtics jersey back there is probably bad enough for everyone.
That's what we said. We said it was a Celtics jersey.
I was gonna say Jordan and Bird also. I know Ali's a big Jordan fan.
I'm a big Jordan fan too. I used to play that song like Mike. If I could be like Mike, 1,000 times. My neighbors lived in a row home. My neighbors hated me. I used to sit out there with the basketball court. I remember we finally got enough money. My dad put a basketball court in out back, and we would sit there and I would play that over and over as loud as could be on my little boom box.
Oh, amazing!
My neighbors hated me. They hated me. But I didn't care. I just wanted to ingrain that in my head. He was the greatest, right?
People forget how great he was, because a lot of people hated him for so many years that they never took a step back and appreciated what's actually happening. So same thing with a lot of these guys. Same thing with Brady. People are just hating, but they're not appreciating what's actually happening, or Jordan or LeBron or anybody. So you got to appreciate these guys and respect what they're doing, whether you like them as what team they're on. You got to sit back and appreciate what you're doing, what they're doing.
No, you know, the great thing is I had multiple conversations, and when we set this up, when I talked to both of you gentlemen, there was no animosity or jealousy or competition. It was like, oh, that guy's just.
I don't ever have a jealous bone in my body. I want to see everybody succeed.
It's great.
Glenn Lundy asked me on his show, the last question, the Rise and Grind. I was on his show a couple months ago, and he said, picture yourself, you're on top of a mountain, and you're up there, and everybody's below. And what do you say to everybody? I said, I don't say anything. I go down the mountain, and I try to get everybody to come up with me, right? It's no fun just being at the top all by yourself, right? You need to grow everybody. I want people to hang out with at these levels. I want to grow myself to different levels. There's different mountains that I want to conquer, you know? So this is just one challenge in my life that I got to the tops of the mountains, and there's still room to grow, but there's other challenges. There's other people on tops of other mountains that I want trying to lift me up, that I want giving me the secret sauce and telling me and teaching me the right way to actually do things. Because there's a lot of people out there right now teaching the wrong stuff, because social media makes it so easy to declare yourself the expert, right? But to me, if you haven't done it, if you don't have proof of concept, if you haven't done it, or you just have general knowledge of a subject, then I don't really want to learn from that person particularly. You know, it's like a college economics teacher, right? He's making $70, $80, $120,000 a year. If he knew more than just general knowledge, if he had specific knowledge how to actually do it, he'd be making millions of dollars. He wouldn't be teaching unless that was just his passion at a college every day, right? So I want to learn from people like Ali in this industry that are doing big numbers every single day. I don't really want to learn from the person who read a Grant Cardone book, or went to a 10X conference, and now they're filled with this fire of repeating all the old stuff that all it's going to do is piss off your customer base, man. You look like a great guy at the dealership for a little while until people really start to get to know what you're about. So there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of information out there. You just got to be careful who you're learning and because there's a lot of convincing people that can stand up and talk in front of a room, but that doesn't mean the information that they're giving you is true, genuine, and what you really should be doing. So you could be digging yourself into a bigger hole when you think you're actually growing, and you're not. You're stunning your growth is really what you're doing. So at the top of the mountain, I want to bring up all the people that want to help me, grow different mountains. I want to bring everybody up. So there's never been a jealous bone in my body about anybody who's ever sold more cars, made more money. I want to be with those people.
There's always
I want them in my circle.
Somebody that comes up that's better and faster and more efficient, and somebody's going to come in and knock us off the throne, and somebody's going to come in and do things better and figure out a faster way.
Look what Ali had to go through unfortunately with Joe Girard's passing, and they kind of made up at the end there and everything. But that could have been handled so much better. It could have been the passing of the torch. It would have been huge, right? Everybody would. It would have just made the whole thing 10 times better than what it actually, was at that point, because we couldn't talk about it, right? We couldn't, we had to worry about getting sued and stuff like that. There's other ways of doing things, than to be jealous or to be aggravated that somebody, is better than you. If somebody's better than me, I love it. I don't ever want to be the best person. I never want to be the smartest person in the room, right? What do they say? You're in the wrong room, right? Leave.
We're still learning, right? I mean,
every day.
Exactly, every day. So yeah, and one thing I'm going to touch on when you're talking about the trainers and learning from a lot of these guys that haven't done it or haven't been there. The one thing that I've noticed that they lack is emotion. They lack the emotion that we actually feel. They lack the butterflies that we get in our stomach. You can't train that. You can't train somebody at the beginning of the month what you feel when you have to start over. You can't train that stuff. So
0 to 0.
But these are things that we're actually doing. These are things that we're feeling. This is I can express my emotions and I can express what I'm feeling because I'm doing it. So this is where you should be picking up on guys like Frank and learning from things that he's teaching, because he's actually doing it. So, I mean, interviews like this and just educate yourself for a lot of these guys. You don't have
even if you don't have the money or the means to pay for
you
training.
don't have to spend thousands on training.
So many people, people call me up all the time like, hey, what would you charge for an hour? Well, the money that I'd have to charge you for an hour to do it, as a salesperson at this point, you probably wouldn't want to pay me. I tell everybody, go on my Facebook page. There's a billion of these interviews that I talk through everything. Now, there's a lot of specific knowledge and stuff like that you can get into if you're one-on-one with somebody or training in a group rather than just doing it on Facebook. That way, that sometimes you probably should pay for. But there's a lot of stuff when you're trying to grow that are out there by the people that are actually doing it every day. And not just people that are spewing it.
Yeah, if we were jealous, we wouldn't be out here doing things, sharing it for free.
I'd be trying to hide all my secrets.
Yeah, there's nothing to it. I mean, that's why we're out here. We want secrets to be better. I want people to succeed. I want these young guys coming up to be bigger and better than us. I mean, we're looking at an industry. We're not just looking at ourselves. I'm not looking at what I'm doing here. I'm looking at an industry as a whole, and to change this whole image of a salesman and try to pick up this advisor role that we should be looked at. So, I mean, I don't care for it either. I mean, I never cared, even when I did hit the record and beat the record with Joe. I mean, I reached out to him months before that, just trying to learn from him. I actually reached out to him initially just to ask him what he thought I should do. This happened. I mean, but that whole thing kind of went sideways, and I thought it was going to go a little different, and I thought it would have been great for our industry. I mean, this would have been absolutely amazing for our industry to kind of put us on the map. And again, we looked horrible throughout that whole process. Unfortunately, it blew up in everybody's face.
No, that was and you handled it well, actually. I think, Ali, you handled it really diplomatic, and you held your cool, and you were definitely in the right, and you were kind of bashed out for accomplishing something great. So with that being said, we're getting close here to an hour and a half, and I know we all want to go all night long. But I want to start with Ali first, and this is a very generic, tacky thing, but I think it's important for a lot of the young people who are really going to gain a lot from this. And so, Ali, 15.
Lost him again. One more time, Noel.
15 years ago. Can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah, I got you.
Yep. Knowing what you know today, what would you share with yourself?
Oh, wow. I would get active in my community immediately. I would definitely believe in what's possible. I would never believe that there's a ceiling. I wouldn't take no for an answer. I wouldn't take that you can't get to a certain number or just to be successful. I mean, people in this industry said you have to be average. Everybody's looking for this average. Frank's not average. I'm not average. So I would tell myself that there is no such thing. And I would just blow through the ceiling, man. I would just say, hey, believe in what's possible, and it can be achieved.
I love that. Believe it, and it can be achieved. And Frank, you?
Stop wasting time. Get out of the water cooler talk. Remove yourself from it. Again, you want to change your life right now. Be the most positive person. Write it down every day. I am going to be the most positive person in every room that I walk into. Change your whole repertoire. People walk up, how's your day? Oh, it's okay. Change everything. Change. You have to personify positivity to everybody. So don't smell yourself if you're selling a lot of cars. Walk around patting yourself on the back. Hey, I'm selling 25 cars. Let's figure out a way to scale your business to grow. I mean, you go from 25 cars to 40 cars, 45. That's life-changing money for some people. A lot of people, most people. The vacations you're going to be able to take, the neighborhoods you're going to be able to live in, the schools that you're going to be able to send your kids to, the money you're going to be able to invest. Hopefully, that's one of the smartest things that I ever did. Is invest my money. I didn't waste it. I stopped, buying, $150,000 sports cars. I don't have to, waste my money on a lot of stuff. I invest a lot of my money. So if you're starting out in the business, one of the best ways to get away from the roller coaster is to invest your money. Don't live paycheck to paycheck, right? So that was one of the best advice that I ever got when I first started. I started a 401k. I started buying properties. I started, buying things that actually, made me money rather than put my money in the stuff that I would just waste money. But get away from the negativity every day. Figure out a way to be the most positive person. It could be annoying to yourself. I don't care. Go out. If you're feeling negative, go out, get in the car, take a drive, roll the windows down. I don't care if it's a dead of winter in Detroit, roll the windows down, put some music on, change your mindset. Write down your goals for the day. Just write down your goals for the day. You don't have to always have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan. Like, everybody's like, well, how did you come up with this plan to get to 100 cars? Well, even if I wrote down a plan when I was selling 50 cars, how to get to 100, the plan looked nothing like what I wrote down. You don't know until you actually get to those levels what you actually need to do to be able to keep scaling yourself and keep growing yourself. So don't get discouraged with, I don't have this absolute plan to get from 50 to 100. Stop wasting your time writing the plan. Just go out and do it right now. So this was my whole, my training thing that I did the other day at the Piazza is, just stop saying that I'm not going to do it or I'm going to do it tomorrow. When you leave here right now, go outside in the parking lot and do a Facebook Live. Do it right now. Do it from wherever you're at. Just get on there. People are like, oh, I don't know what to say. Well, I didn't know what to say when I first started either. I pick up the phone and be like, I'm at Piazza Honda. Just wanted to say hi to everybody. It'll come more natural. It's like the first car you sold. It's like the first time you rode a bike. It's like the first, basketball shot that you shot. You weren't good at it. And so you kept doing it.
I learned to be horrible.
Right.
And I feel a little better. I'm still not great, but I feel more comfortable now than I ever was. Watch some early videos.
When I went to Hustle and Grind, right before I got on the stage, my wife texted me. She goes, "Are you nervous?" Right? And I text her back. I said, "What does that feel like?" She goes, "You're such an idiot." I said, "What?" I said, "I get to talk about my favorite subject." She's like, "What? Cars?" I'm like, "No, myself. This is going to be great." She just stopped texting me at that point. But at the same point, you have to be positive. You have to believe in yourself, right? And that's what I do every day. I don't need to be the greatest of the world. I need to be the greatest version of myself right now in front of whoever I'm in front of. And just do it, right? Stop telling yourself you're going to start it next week. That's like me keep telling myself every morning I'm in the shower. I'm like, oh, I'm going to eat right today. I'm going to start working out. Well, you know what? It hasn't happened because I haven't done it. I keep putting it off till next Monday, right? But my sales game, I never done that. I don't do that. My investments, I don't do that. Other aspects of my life, I don't do that. So it'll transpond into every aspect of your life if you start doing things like that. So almost every other morning I get up early as could be and I write down every form of communication that anybody has contacted me: text message, instant message, voicemails, emails. I go through on an old school yellow piece of paper and I write down everything. So I make sure that I get back to everybody. I find 2 deals a day when I do that every single time, because you get a week later, you're like, oh my God, I didn't call back Mrs. Smith. Hey, Mrs. Smith, it's Frank. Oh, we're sorry. We went and we were waiting for you to call us back, but we got a Toyota, right? That's mind blowing. Get back to everybody. The only way you're going to do that is you go through there's so many forms of communication now. The only way you're going to do that is to actually write it down and go through it every morning. So I have a plan when I come in every morning. Boom. I hit the door. If there's not a customer here waiting for me, I'm going through that list, text messaging, calling, getting through everybody. I'm doing my Facebook posts and putting myself out there. The next worst feeling, the more worst feeling than when you call Mrs. Smith is when you walk in and your neighbor or somebody you went to high school with or somebody that you know in the community is sitting with Ali out in the showroom and you walk in. How awkward is that, right? Whose fault's that? You get mad at the other salesperson. That's my customer. No, it's not your customer. Yeah. They didn't know where you were. You didn't put yourself out there enough. So that was actually one of the reasons that I started social media. I got tired of people coming in and be like, oh, there's Frank. If they were talking to another salesperson a half hour, I said, I'm never going to let this happen to myself again. I'm going to make sure that every person in my geographic area knows who I am. So I act like the mayor. I'm out there every day. I'm shaking hands. I'm kissing babies. I'm trying to get your vote. And not the people that have already bought cars from me. They already know me. They already know where I'm from, right? It's fun. It's fun. I have fun every day. This isn't fake. Not work. This is me having fun every single day. I like doing this. I'm having fun right now. Yeah. This is great. It's not work to me. Coming into work, there's some times that it's trying and that it's hard. And everything doesn't always go smooth for both of us, right? But instead of dwelling on it, We figure out a way to conquer. We figure out a way to turn it into an opportunity. We figure out a way to get through the day and stay happy, stay positive. So they're all my tips. If I was telling myself back 15 years ago exactly what I would do right now. And right now, because social media wasn't out there, I'd be getting myself out there every single day because people keep asking, do you think the car industry is going to go away? Do you think you're going to be able to buy cars on the internet? It's double-edged sword, right? So that's going to be part of it. But the real answer is, if you don't change your processes, if you would have asked somebody 15 years ago, do you think taxi cabs are going to go away? Right? What would you say? No, absolutely. Everybody needs a taxi cab. I would never put me or my wife or my kids in a taxi cab ever again. I take a high-end Uber. I get a black car Uber everywhere I go. If you don't change your process, if you keep doing things the way that they were doing 10 years ago, the industry's not going to need you. Customer doesn't need you to buy a car. They need you to walk them through the process. Give them education. Tell them when they shouldn't be buying a car. Tell them how they should be buying a car. When you should be buying, when you should be leasing. You need to be an expert to be able to explain all these things to people. So if you don't make yourself an integral part of the process, you can go away as a salesperson, because you will be able to click pretty soon on Amazon or Carnova or wherever it is. But I've made myself an integral part of the process that people need me. They want to use me. So I'm not going anywhere. I don't know if the people that are still selling cars the way that it was done 20 years ago, I know where they're going to be. I'm going to have all their customer base. They're going to refer to me, all their customers.
Even if it did change, he'd be the last to go. It doesn't matter. He would survive another 20 years past everybody else being the way.
Apocalypse.
Still be here. There's two more things I want to say real quick. Just if I was to tell myself that it's okay to be compassionate in our industry. Stop thinking you have to be put on this face. It's okay to be compassionate. It's okay to understand that person in front of you, where they came from. It's okay to say, I understand you're a single mother and you're struggling. It's okay to feel that compassion with the customer. It's okay to greet your customers with a hug and not just a handshake. So those are important things that are not taught. They're not taught. You're taught to stand back and shake somebody's hand and not have any emotion. It's okay to feel that. The second thing is to be debt free. In our industry, when we all started, when we were younger, the manager would come up and say, I need to get this guy a big house payment and a big car payment. But their thought process was, their mindset was, that way they come in and push and sell. But it's the opposite. If I'm pressured because I have payments, then I'm trying to sell just to make my payments. If I'm debt free, if I told my younger self, be debt free early, and when you get to work, you don't have to worry about that next sale. You don't have to be worried about selling this person because you have a house payment. When you become debt free, you become more relaxed and you don't have to worry about that next customer, and you can simply help people. Two huge things for the young guys coming in right now: debt free, and it's okay to show your emotions and your compassion towards people.
Well, the greatest thing is, and I'm going to get close to wrapping this up. We're almost at 700 comments, so everybody give your last shout outs here. Feel free to share this. The replay will be alive. This is just.
I'm not going anywhere till we have 1,000 comments. So
all right, let's
That's it.
I love it, man. I love it. So, but I love this, and so we'll keep going. So I'm just going to give a little prelude here, a little afterlude. I don't know what you call it, but I'm going to say it. But what Frank talked about in the beginning, everyone who's listening, he talked about the whole way through. What Ali talked about in the beginning, he talked about the whole way through. What they're sharing is simple stuff. It doesn't happen overnight, but they did it on a consistent basis with goals in mind, with, looking at the different scaling steps, levels, right, to the business. And they focused on becoming better. They have similar approaches, although different in areas, but they do the same thing that works the same way every time, and they perfect it. Like Frank, one thing that you talked about that I really liked is it's not the 7 steps to the road to the sale. Some people are 12, some people are 3. Am I correct? Some people.
I had a lady this morning that came in, and she said, "You're going to hate me by the time this is over." I said, "Why is that?" She goes, "I'm a tough cookie," and she was. Right? She asked all the questions, and I gave her every single answer. She's a friend of mine's aunt. And by the end of the process, she was here for about 4 hours because she needed the whole dog and pony show. She hasn't bought a car in 15 years. Her husband passed. It was our first, probably car buying experience.
Right.
I went through everything. We did the demonstration, the presentation. We showed the dealership off. We went through the whole process, payments, everything with her. By the end of the process, she gave me the biggest hug that she's ever got. And I'm like, see, I told you it wasn't going to be that bad, right? I said, there's no way in the world you'll ever be my worst customer. She's like, no, I'm going to be your worst customer, which is a lot because she thought that's how she had to be, right? Until she came in, she realized that she didn't have to have her guard up the entire time. We were going to be transparent with her, gave her all the information right up front. People are, I'm just looking. Great. And I hear all these dumb lines. Oh, you've lost your keys and you found them in the first place. Would you keep looking? They're the dumb things that they teach you, back in the day. I always say to people, I understand you're just looking. Most people don't put their shoes on, and say, let's go out and buy a car. You're looking for some place that you feel comfortable at. You're looking for somebody that's going to give you all the information that you're looking for. You're looking for somebody to walk you through the process. So I'm going to do all that for you. Then afterwards, we can make an educated decision together to make sure this is the right dealership for you to do business. I'm the right guy for you to walk you through the process, and this is the right product for you. Is that fair enough? And people are like, whoa, yeah, no problem. They were waiting to hear something stupid. You're looking for a 2-door or a 4-door,
Right.
Nobody wants to hear this stuff anymore. It's stuff that gives this industry a negative connotation. Again, somebody's looking to buy something. We're looking to sell something. We're looking to sell ourselves. Just shorten the process. Take all that fluff out, all those dumb word tracks that people have ingrained into you, your entire life. They're stupid. People are hip to the game. They'll respect you a lot more if you don't give them all those corny word tracks and things they've heard 100 times over, or things they've read, or, my friend Lisa Copeland just wrote a book, an unbelievable book, and it walks you through the whole process of the questions you should be answering. I love this stuff. Like, people are like, oh, I can't believe somebody like that would write a book about how to buy a car the right way, using the industry. I'm like, no, that's what we should be doing. That's exactly what we should be doing. Being more transparent, walking people through the process.
Makes
so they're
our
not nervous
easier.
walking in the door.
Yeah, it makes our life easier.
It makes everybody's life easier.
And that customer that you had, that took patience. That's one thing that we lack in our industry is patience, and everything is now. And it's not a sprint to the finish line. The end result is the same, but it's how you get there, and you don't have to take this crazy road to get there. But it does take patience, and we need to learn that also is just how to be more patient with people and understand that they don't know the lingo of the dealership. They don't understand the buying power. They might not even know what APR means. They might not even know the difference.
Right. We think that everybody knows what they want when they walk into the dealership, and they know how to buy a car, right? We think that people know how to negotiate.
Right.
You can't assume that at all. So that's one of the things in my mindset that I changed. So I always tell everybody, this is not my selling process. This is your buying process. I do this every day. You don't. The last thing I ever want you to do is sit here and yes me to death. If you have a question or you don't understand, I really just want you to stop me, and I'll make sure that you do understand the process. So this way you feel comfortable now and in the future, when you come in to buy a car.
And the same thing goes for managers. Managers have to understand that salespeople don't know everything you know. That's why you are a manager. So don't assume that they know that. And
don't get aggravated.
Because they don't know that, and the next time they don't want to come in your office because they're asking a silly question that they feel you feel is stupid, and it's a legitimate question. So we have to be more patient. Managers, you have to be more patient with people that just come into the industry so you can keep them at your store. And I know managers get extremely busy, man. If you guys don't know, I hired a salesperson that works for me now. His name is Carlos, and he's his own person. So he's his own numbers, his own person, but I'm his manager. I'm basically his desk, and he comes to me for everything. And I learned quickly that I have to take baby steps. This guy never sold a car before, right? So I have a lot of respect for these managers because you got a million things going on, and here comes this guy coming in asking, how do I fill out an appraisal sheet? And that was one of the things that I'm saying I'm working on some things to kind of figure out how we can get this material out. And Damien and I are kind of brainstorming some things of how do we train people early on in the first 4 months or the first year? How is the process of training? And we just put them out there, and then they come in and say, well, what do I do with this appraisal sheet? And then the manager blows up on them. Guess what? Next time he has an appraisal sheet, he's not going to go back to that manager. So so I'm learning as I go too, but a lot of respect and love for managers out there, but You have to know that. Don't assume that the salesperson knows what you know. That's why you're a manager. Slow things down sometimes and explain it to them.
So don't assume the salesperson knows, and then as a salesperson, don't assume the customer knows. That's where I see that the salesperson gets most frustrated, right? When they can't figure out why they can't close a customer on a particular car, because that's not even the car that they wanted. We didn't know how to ask the right questions.
And they spent 4 hours. And they spent 3-4 hours showing them the wrong car.
Right.
You know, and they go down the street and buy it in 15 minutes, and you wonder why did they come down the street and buy it in 15 minutes?
Because you walked in and the first thing you said is, "How much do you want to spend?" And I said $250. So all you did was end up spending all your day trying to find a car that fit into this magic $250 payment, rather than showing them what they want, showing them what their needs. So one of the best things that I ever did as a salesperson, and this is going to sound a little convoluted, but I stopped actually listening to what people were saying, and I started understanding what they were trying to tell me, because a lot of times people will walk in and their guard's up, so they don't know what to say, right? So you have to be able to walk them through it to understand what they're trying to tell you, not just listening to what they're saying, because again, they don't know how to do this process. Not everybody, right? A lot of my customers do now because I've walked them through everything. One of the greatest compliments that I can ever get is a lot of my customers now, they send in their 18-year-old daughters by themselves, right? They'll send in their 22-year-old son all by themselves without mommy or daddy to have to be here to watch over them.
Or the spouse.
Right. Oh, well,
or the parents, 80-year-olds.
So I get made fun of here every once in a while. They call me the woman salesperson there, because 70% of my business is female, right? So without that trust that you've walked everything and built everybody up, nobody's sending your kids in just to go ahead, dad's going to come over and watch everything that's happening. And I like that. I mean, I want everybody to come in and be a part of it. But one of the best feelings is when one of your customers calls and listen, my 18-year-old daughter is going to college. I'm going to send her up. Can you get her in the right car? Absolutely. And that's the only conversation we have, because they know I'm going to do the right thing for them, right? We're not going to do what's right for me. We're going to do what's right for her or him.
Yeah. And you're going to make sure you're doing right by them just because of the trust that they put in you. I mean, I get it too. Now I'll get spouses, I'll get husband and wife, but they don't have to go back and discuss it, because they're already, we're all on the same page. They don't have to worry about you taking advantage of somebody, because that's not what we're about. And that referral, man, that, like Frank says, 20 minutes and you can handle 4 or 5 customers at the same time. I mean, that's how you get to these large numbers. It's all about the trust.
No, it is all about trust. And you guys touch base on everything that I teach all the time. And it's trust, empathy, communication, and process and building value, right? Value in what the customer sees value in, not in what Noel, Frank, or Ali see value in the car. That, oh my God, this is an $80,000 vehicle and it's only $399 on a lease. Like, why wouldn't you want this? Because I don't need a third row SUV that gets bad gas mileage and is going to, I want something like, I've got a 50-mile commute I want to buy, right? Like, if we don't really see what the customer values, we see what we value, and we try and sell what we want to the customer, and what we see is the best value, and that pushes customers off. And how often have you had a customer that wants to, they want to come and they want to complain for 20 minutes about their last experience, right? How bad the salesman or woman was, how the service department did this, how they did that. We need to empathize with them. I'm sorry you had to go through that. The great thing about dealing with Noel Walsh at ABC Motors is I don't put my customers through that process, right? Like, I'm here to make it simple and easy for you and give you, like Frank and we've all said, give you all the facts and let you make the proper decision. And I'm going to make it easy for you when you do, because I know when I go to shop for something, the more energy and, I think about it, the more confused I get. So I just want a professional that makes me feel confident, comfortable. I see value, and I think they're a professional. I trust Frank. I trust Ali with my $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, my social security number, sending my daughter, my son, my wife up there, my mom who's 80, whatever the case is, because they believe in you.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, I have a lot of salespeople tell me, well, my customers they don't want to be on Facebook. They don't want to be my Facebook friend. I mean, what do you mean they don't want to be your Facebook friend? They just gave you their social security number. They told you everything about their life. They let you look at their credit. They let you, you're selling them a $60,000 car. You're talking to their family every single day. You've made friends with this person. Why wouldn't you friend them so that they're a customer for life? They're a friend now, right? So if you're my friend, and I just met Ali today, he was referred into me, and we have a great, process. We hit it off. We got a good car. Why wouldn't you want to be my friend? So to me, I always joke about it when the end of we're done with the business part of it and everything's signed up and we're ready to go. This is the worst part of this whole process. People look at me like, what? I'm like, now you got to be my Facebook friend, right? People laugh. I just grab their phone, boom, I type in my name, we take a picture, we celebrate it, right? And then every single year it comes up as an anniversary. I go in, I comment on it, they see it again. They're like, wow, Frank Crinite, car, Frank Crinite. Somebody's having a car problem, call Frank Crinite. Who's next? Who's next? That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Who can I help next? Who can I take care of? Whose problem can I solve? That's what people are paying salesmen for. They're paying to solve the problem, right? So everybody comes in and we sit down and we figure out, what problem that they may have or what issue that we have to work through. And I give them the right plan. Does it work out 100% of the time? No, but it works out most of the time, just about every single, 95% of the time.
Yeah, and our job is to solve a problem, not create a new one for them.
Right, exactly.
Keep that in mind. That's mind.
Right.
You are there to solve an issue, not create a new one.
How do you feel, when you deal with somebody and you have a problem, right? And they give you more questions and you're like, whoa. I wanted a solution. I didn't want to get deeper in my problem, right?
I actually don't mind problems. It makes them more exciting for me, right? It's not vanilla. So I like it. It gives you more of a feeling of accomplishment, when you have somebody that has not the greatest credit and you can get them a good interest rate because you didn't just take, what the first bank said. You went back, you made phone calls, you actually went to bat for the customer. My one mantra I live on is I'll never take a no from somebody that can't tell me yes in the first place. So if I can't get the answer I want from you, I need to go up a level. If I can't get the answer of that guy, I'll go up 2 levels until I'm at the very, very last point of no, and then I'll figure out another way to come up with a solution to the problem on there for you. So never take a no from somebody who can't tell you yes in the first place. Most people, they stop at the first bit of resistance or the first no. To me, that's just the first step. I want to get through it, right? So we're going to find out, okay, just know me real quick so I can get through you. I couldn't get the answer from you. It doesn't mean that you can't do your job. You just can't make a decision at this point, at this level. So we need to go up somewhere else. So I'll never take a no from somebody who can't tell me yes.
Yeah. Those are the best deals, man. Those you feel great about those deals, and those people appreciate it the most too.
Absolutely.
No, it feels good. Yeah, you help a single mom whose husband died in the war and she's got 4 kids, right? And she's working at Walmart and she needs somebody to go to bat for her, right? Like
compassion.
Like she needs an advocate in her corner, and you might not get the highest commission and she might not even have the biggest network to send you anything, but you did the right thing for somebody in need. And that's where
back to being aware.
The gratification.
And that goes back to being aware. That goes back to being aware of their position in life, where they're at, where they're going. That all has, asking the right questions to figure those things out.
No, absolutely. It's like I always teach, it's listening and identifying, which we, covered in different ways, is listen to what they say and then identify what they're telling you. I've done numerous courses on this that people, if we just listen to everything the customer tells us, they are not professional car buyers, right? We are supposed to be professional salespeople. It's our job to extract the real root, right? Because they're going to circle it with the force field, and it's our job to really dig into that root, get our hands on it, see how it feels.
But guess what? Once you get through all the first time with a customer, it just, you don't have to do that anymore, right? Because they come in and there is no force field. It's just, let's talk about whatever we're going to talk about, and then let's talk about the problem and let's figure it out. So, that's what a lot of people can't understand. There's probably comments on here. There's no way these guys actually sell this many cars. And guess what? We don't sell this many cars. The community sells these cars for us. People come in. I didn't sell 135 cars, last August. Ali didn't sell 200 cars, last December. The community sold us for us. The referrals, the business that we built with these customers, the trust sold these cars, not us. You didn't have to go from A to Z, walk everybody back through the same process, because we've already done the groundwork. We've already solved problems for these people. We've already, the people that referred in that don't even know you yet, the people that referred them in already built you up so big
Right.
that they're just looking for their problem to get solved. Their force field's not there anymore.
Never met you before. They trust you.
Right.
They never met you before. I mean, how amazing is that?
Well, going back to like you talked about, Frank, people call you and they're like, oh man, I got to get my bathroom's clogged up. I need a plumber. You always have that. Everybody likes having that guy or girl, right? And so when you win that trust.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want everybody calling you for everything to grow your business, right?
Client referring you too, because they're like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about, get my 18-year-old a car. I know the guy. Right?
I have my buddy Luch. He just started a carpet. Well, he's had it, but he started a new carpet cleaning business. I probably sent him 15 customers in the last 2 months. He came to my house and did a phenomenal job. Right? He's the owner of the business. He shows up. He does it. People all the time, they're talking about, hey, I got a rental property. I got to get the carpets cleaned. Or, I hear people all around the showroom, talking, oh, it's, it's summertime. I got to do spring cleaning. Boom. I got a guy. Does carpets really? Yeah, he's amazing. I see people on Facebook, and you don't even got to be talking to people. You see people comment on Facebook, and you have a guy and you respond to him, and that guy actually goes out and does the job that you said he was going to do and over delivers, right? Or delivers the service that you said that he was going to do. It makes you look so good. So if you have a guy who's an expert in the field, why wouldn't you want to put him out there, right? I have a credit guy. I got people that come in and their credit's not that great right now. And I sit down and I talk to them. We come up with a plan. Some people need a car right now, right? Just about anybody can get you approved at 21%. It's no big, secret in the car business. And just about anybody can get you approved at a super high interest rate. But what I don't do is just stick somebody in a car that they can never get out of. We come up with a plan. So you're going to keep this car 1 year. We're going to auto debit your payments. You make sure your car payment's on time every single time. We're going to put down some money so you're not out of equity. At the same point, I have a guy, Carl Scaramucci, owns a company called Credit Blueprint. They're legit. They actually go in, they help you. They take the stuff that's not supposed to be on your credit report. They show you a plan how to actually improve your credit. I've taken people from 21% in a year, 14 months down to single-digit interest rates, put them in here in a lot nicer car for the same payment, or lowered their car payment by hundreds of dollars because I sat here, walked through the process, educated them, didn't talk at them, actually walked them through the process, didn't look down on them because life happens sometimes. Just because I have an 800 credit score now doesn't mean something can't happen, medically or, financially, or something crazy can't happen to even me, right? So if I was going through that same thing, I always put myself in everybody else's shoes. What would I want done if I was sitting in that person's shoes? And I would want somebody to walk me through the process of how I get out of this hole. How do I do it? So, I don't just stick, people in a used car at 21% and, hey, never see you again. That's not how you're going to grow your business. It's not how you're going to get referrals. It's not how you're going to endear people.
It's a one-night stand.
No, it truly isn't. And Frank just kind of got, I think, muted here, but
modeling down and getting them a car that they can't. I find other ways. So I said, I had a lady here one time, and she really could only spend $300 a month. That was it. And she really wanted the new car. That was the car she wanted. So we were $350 no matter what we did. So I went through Miss Jennings, and I said, Miss Jennings, if I save you $50 a month, this car, and you get to drive the car that you want, is that really what we're trying to accomplish? She said, absolutely. That's all. I need to save $50 a month. I can't pay $350 a month. I got on the phone with my insurance agent. I said, do you mind talking to my insurance agent for a couple minutes? He saved her $30 a month. I said, who's your cable company? She goes, Comcast. I said, that's amazing. I said, Comcast is mine too. I said, you know what I did? I called there the other day. I said, I'm switching my cable company. What do I got to do to deactivate it? They lowered it $100. She goes, that's really a thing? I said, yeah. I said, I'll call for you. So we got on phone. We sat there and we did it. And I said, I'm her nephew. We went through. I lowered her cable bill $80. I showed her a couple other ways that she can lower her bills. She loves me. She's an 80-year-old lady from West Philly. She sends me probably 25 people a year. She sings my praises everywhere. She thinks I'm the greatest person in history. And all I did was take the experiences that I had to figure out how to do it rather than strip every dollar and try to lose money selling a car. We can make a fair profit. We can show people how to actually lower their budget, lower their bills. She lowered her budget from more than what she thought she was going to be at. So she went from being $50 over her budget to like $60 under her budget. And they're the people that are going to sing your praises, not the people that you have to give every single penny away. And they have to have every penny on the trade.
you're going to get that with relationships. You're going to get that. You're going to get that people that actually trust you and listen to what you say, and you can walk them, through the path of, hey, this is how you can actually, save some money. How you can actually get the car that you want and own the car that you want. And that she's been one of my best referral sources ever. 80-year-old lady, from the city. You would never think that, but it's great. She sings my praises at church and all over the community, all over the place. I can walk through West Philly like Will Smith out there. It's great.
I love it. Yeah, the Fresh Prince. I forgot about that. Moving to Beverly Hills. So let's wrap this up. I don't know if we're going to get to 1,000, but believe me, I'm going to be on these comments all night long, Frank. So you do not have to worry about that.
If not, I'm going to have to send you my bill. It's pretty big for 2 hours. You don't want that.
I don't want to see it. I'll forward it to Damien. Isn't that where we forward our meal bills?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll be happy.
So we covered so much. Ali, you first. Take a couple minutes, however long you want. Just kind of recap really what you want the business to be. I know I saw some of the comments. I've been trying to be focused and in the presence, but I've seen some of the comments come through and some things that Damien said in that. But really, what do you want the industry to take away from all the knowledge, experience, results, and production that Frank and yourself have shared with all of us tonight? What do you just want them to really just grasp on and say, hey, this is Ali and Reda, grasp on this and just take it and, do this, do that.
I mean, easy. There's an easier way. There's a simpler way. This is a career, not a job. This is something you can be proud of. I'm proud of what I do. Frank is proud of what he does. For the young people coming up, you guys, every single thing that we discussed today is duplicatable. That's one thing that you have to understand. We're not doing it. We're not the only people that are doing this. And there's other people that are doing fantastic things in our industry. Follow those people as well. It's duplicatable. Believe in yourself and believe in what's possible. And nobody is going to do it for you. As much as my mother loves me, she's not going to do it for me. If you're not going to do it, nobody's going to do it for you. So take initiative and get out there and do it. And like Frank said, the first time it might feel awkward. You might feel, out of place going to these charity events. You might not know what's going on, but the first time, the second time, the third time, you're going to get used to it. You're going to find what you like and what you don't like. But the key is it's possible, it's duplicatable. Get out there and do it yourself. And I want to thank you, Noel, for putting this together. Of course, this is fantastic. I think there's a lot of good things that are going to come out of this, positive things for our industry as a whole, not just for us and salespeople, but for everybody as a whole. And of course, Frank, I love you, bro. I love and respect everything you're doing. I'm proud of all your accomplishments, man. And, I'm a fan for life and I support you forever, bro. I love you.
Same, man. Absolute same. Same feelings, 100%.
Yeah. And Frank, you shared a lot with us tonight. What do you want that one nugget, that one sales nugget for people to really just capture their mind around and really plant in the ground and fertilize and water and grow? What seed?
Stop standing in the shower and telling yourself you're going to do it and not do it. Get up tomorrow morning, get on Facebook, do yourself a live, throw yourself out there, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep showing up every single day. Like if I just posted a couple pictures and I went away, people would stop remembering who I am. They'd stop remembering where I'm at. So the quickest way to grow your business, I did it the hard way. I went door to door. I asked for referrals. I brought donuts to places. Like I was that guy. I had to show up every single day. The great part of social media is you don't have to go door to door. You can be in everybody's face all the time. Stop worrying about if you're posting too much. Keep posting. Post some fun things. Post things with your family. I want to know who you are. All these salespeople in the country keep getting mad at me to keep inboxing me. They're like, yo, bro, we sent you a friend request 3 times. You haven't responded to me. At least respond to me. I'm like, well, I looked at your Facebook page. It doesn't say where you work. There's nothing on your page that says what you're doing, and there's nothing exciting. So if there's nothing exciting on your page, I mean, you're more than happy to follow me, but I don't want to see nothing exciting in my newsfeed, right? I'm on Facebook way more than I probably should be, but I want to see exciting stuff. I don't want to see the same stuff. So the number one thing, like Ali said, nobody's going to do this for you. Nobody's going to pick up the phone and do a Facebook Live for you. Nobody's going to come up with, my red carpet and put it up for you every single time. You have to do these things yourself. You got to take action. You got to start writing things down that your process, like Damien has taught, Ali, and I talked to Damien for, a little while. And one of the best things that he taught me is figure out where you're wasting your time. Write down. So I had a little notebook. It looks like, hieroglyphics that I wrote down because my handwriting's so bad. I should have been a doctor. But I went through and I figured out where I was wasting my time. So since March, I haven't watched TV. I haven't watched Netflix. I used to love watching all those superhero shows. I would watch 5, 6, 7 hours until I was like hold my eyes open. Get all that stuff out. There'll be plenty of time for that. If you really want to grow, cultivate your business, you want to do better for your family, yourself, you have to do it, right? You have to get all the stuff out of the way that's not making you grow. So take all that out and just you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to grow so quick, that you'll surprise yourself. You might even scare yourself a little bit, because there's so many people out there right now that aren't doing it. And we're in like the last great part of you can still do this for free on Facebook and get away with it. Trust me, it's going away pretty soon. They're going to figure out a way to block you from any post that has to do with a car or anything unless you pay. It's a pay to play. So you're going to be sitting by the wayside if you don't already get your name out there. So you need to get your name out there right now. Who you are and where you're at is almost as important as what you know and what you can tell somebody. Because if somebody doesn't know where you're at, they can't refer you. They can't buy from you. They'll end up sitting out there with your neighbor buying a car. Your neighbor will be here buying a car and he doesn't even know where you work. So get yourself out there. That's what I do every day. For me, it's all about putting myself out there. And I'm not scared. I'm not shy. I'm not bashful. I wasn't always this way. I didn't. If you ask my friends 9 years ago, ask my wife, I will never be on social media ever, ever. My friends are like, come on, man, get a Facebook page. I was so nervous of what people would say about me. Old girlfriend from 20 years, like, is she going to come up on my Facebook page? Like all these things that creep into your head, right? Do you think about it? Don't worry about it. They're just, that's the boogeyman, right? The boogeyman's not really in your closet. He's not coming out. Don't be scared of it. There is no ghost. The ghosts are between your ears. That's
Right.
really what it is, right? So just get out there and do it, man. You know what? If somebody's making fun of you because you're posting Facebook pictures, I guarantee they're not doing anything on Facebook. They're going to be the dinosaurs that are left behind. I'm not looking for, extinction. I'm looking for growth, exponential growth. And to me, Facebook is one of the social media, Instagram. I see some of these young guys with 30,000 followers on Instagram and they're not using it. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? You're
Right.
you just don't get it, right? You just don't get it. Like they want to post pictures of their food all day. I'm like, great, that's awesome.
Right.
It looks like a really juicy burger. But after that, you could post a picture about, hey, this is where I'm at, or this is what I'm doing. And then maybe one day, instead of just showing up at a charity event, you'll be able to start your own charity. You'll be able to give back huge to the community, right? Because that's what it's all about for me. The more cars I sell, the more I can give back. Like that's really what it's all about for me right now. It's not stacking more money in a bank account. Like the more that I'm selling right now, I feel like the bigger checks that I should be writing. And my goal, this year is to write a huge check to my charity. It's to do more good in the community because that's what it's all about. The community supports me more than anybody I know in the area. People say all the time, man, you're the most popular guy in all of Delaware County. And I said, well, that's great. But, I want to be the most popular guy because I'm giving back, not because I'm selling a car. Again, that's a byproduct of what I really want to be doing. So the more that I sell is going to be so I can give back more. So that's where my heart's at. That's where it's at. That's where it's at for me. Business wise, I'm doing it for myself to grow the community, not just to do it, to make more money. So the more money you make, hopefully the more money you're giving back. You're not being stingy. You're not being greedy. So guys, when you start growing, start giving back more. Don't just buy a nicer car. Don't just buy a nicer watch. I see it's everybody that, they want to have the Rolex and they want to have the Mercedes, and that's all good and stuff. That'll come. It'll come after you have a lot of income coming in and it's flowing in. You don't have to do it right away. You don't have to live up to the stigma, of what you think the quintessential success should be. You need to build your business and keep building your business and finding ways to grow your business so you can give back. So you don't have to worry about what watch what watch you're wearing or what car you're driving. I don't even care anymore, because all that was what would people think of me, right? What do I care what people think of me if I'm driving a $150,000 Mercedes? It doesn't show good on me. That's not really what I want to do with my money. I'd rather write a $10,000 check to my charity. I'd rather next year write a $25,000 check to my charity. Like that's what I want to do besides just my time that I'm investing. So, give back once you start growing. It'll help you. It'll help you in your business, but it'll help you in your life, more importantly, to give back.
Well, I want to thank both of you gentlemen for joining us. We're just hitting about 2 hours right now, and we're getting there, Frank, man. I will not let you down. I told you I'm going to blow this thing up, and I won't let up on it it's all everybody's going to see for weeks on social media. I'm going to probably lose like 1,000 friends and like 600 followers to watch my stats, but
That's all right.
it's going to be seen. Right, exactly. This is a message for everybody. We appreciate all 893 comments. I mean, if these guys didn't have so much fire, so much knowledge, so much experience, and so much to share with you, I would have tried to make it more interactive and engaging for the viewers. I am going to do my best. I've had the beautiful Mrs. Walsh trying to catch up on some of the comments here. Both gentlemen got to meet her. But I'm going to do my best to try and get back to everybody. It's always hard with this many comments to answer everybody's questions and to engage with everybody. I like how 98% of it was all positive. And so I think that's a beautiful thing. And it's really, we set the precedence for our environment. And you guys did that with not coming in arrogant, cocky, or, I'm the greatest mentality. You came in serving, giving, respectful, and honored as much as I am. And that's a giant reflection on your guys' accomplishments, because it's that character that you carry with yourselves day in and day out that brings in those vibes, right? That brings in that trust, those feelings, that respect, all that stuff that draws people towards us. And it's more than a good looking, we all can't dress as fancy as Ali or have hair as nice as Frank, but
I love it. Can I touch it? Can I touch it?
It's not cut in. I'm 40 years old. I would never cut a line.
It feels great. I love it.
Same part I have in my community. It's all good.
On these guys, this was awesome. It was amazing. I was so honored. I sent a text out to these gentlemen or a messenger, whatever it was. We communicated. And it was on like a Sunday or something. And I'm like, I don't want to bother them on a Sunday, but I'm like, I know I'll forget to get to it for hours. And both of them were like 3 minutes, like on, yeah, it's like, let's do it. Like, why didn't anybody think of this sooner? And so, that's the beautiful thing. And you both worked long days today. And look at Frank, what time did you get to work? 8:30?
I'm built for this, man. It doesn't matter, right? I'm built for this. This is what my body's built for. I can go on for hours. I don't know if I can sit here for hours, but I can go on for hours. I mean, my wife's like, can you turn it down a little bit? Like, we're at dinner. Can you stop? You stop. I'm like, nah, I just can't. I just can't do it. I'll go sit at the other end of the table. But this is what you get. This is me. This is who I am, right? I want to be having a good time. I want to be talking. I want to talk about things that I want to do. I want to be hearing about things that you want to do. I told Ali, me and him should team up. We'll just dominate the whole world as far as car sales goes. So, the knowledge that we could teach an industry, I mean, it's just, it's the right way to do things. And we have proof of concept that nobody can deny. I've written stats and, every stat in the world to actually show, that we're doing what we're actually doing every single day. And there's no fluff here. There isn't, we're saying one thing and doing another thing. Everything I say, I've done. Everything I'm doing is what I'm saying right now to everybody. It's every day that I do, just about every one of these steps. So
likewise,
it's definitely, you can definitely copy these steps. It's a process that can be duplicated 100%.
Well, let's end it with this right here. PJ Oberholzer said, going to bed excited to apply this information tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys. That's all the three of us wanted out of this live.
And he's one of my best customers and best referral sources.
Awesome. See, I didn't know his name, and he just popped up. And there's a lot of people I should have probably given the homage to because they've commented so much. But I just saw that, and I'm like, What a great way to end this live stream. Gentlemen, I am completely honored. Sarah, get up over here and you got to show yourself like you do so much. She's been here pounding away for everybody.
Hey,
The beautiful Mrs. Walsh, I'm trying to hide.
You guys, thank you so much. It's just incredible.
And she's even prettier in person, but
Absolutely awesome.
not as good looking as, well, she's better looking than these two gentlemen, but they're close second. Ty goes to the runner. I don't know who was running, but either way. But we've got Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig tonight. No Burden, Jordan. But I appreciate.
I'll take Will Chamberlain. I'll take that. That's fine.
Absolutely.
But 100 points. That guy.
That's a decent day. Us Detroit people, we had the bad boys 89 and 90 after that. It was a fun time, right? And we ended some eras, so that was kind of fun too. Like the Celtics and the Lakers won for like 38 years straight. But it was kind of nice to see a new face in there, even though
I think you guys could probably watch that on VHS somewhere.
But
Quickly.
I appreciate both of you gentlemen. It was an honor and a pleasure. I don't know if you really know how much I appreciate this, and I know how much everybody else appreciated it. This was definitely the epic, like we said it was going to be, the live sales training interview broadcast of 2019. By far, these two gentlemen you're looking at right now on this 2-hour plus interview sold 3,000 cars combined years after years after years from different stores, different backgrounds, different markets, different makes.
But the same methodology.
And so if one person can do it, many more can do it. Gentlemen, I have nothing but the highest respect, regards for you. And it was a true pleasure. And I couldn't imagine it being one bit better. It was perfect in my mind.
Yep. Likewise. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
If anybody wants to know how to run a charity, log on to the Delco group. Go on there and like our page. You'll see how we're blowing up right now in our area. It's we went from thinking we were going to just do small things to start for the first year, and it's blowing up. So if you want to really figure out how to do a social media plan with charity, with business, jump on our page, the Delco group, follow us. It's got some really innovative stuff on there. So that's my plug. I don't need to plug car sales. I need to plug my charity. So the Delco group.
I love it, brother. Why don't you give a plug out to something you're passionate about, Ali?
I'm involved in a lot of charities, so a lot of local charities, and nothing specific to plug, but I think everybody should be out there doing something that they love and feel good about.
We're at 959 comments.
Yeah, I told you we're going to get there, but believe me, before we batter off, this guy's fast with the keyboard. Once I get off, man, I'm gonna go change out of this suit and I'm gonna get comfy, and I'm gonna get a snack and something to drink because my mouth is dry as heck, like some water and ice, like tons of ice. And
I want to thank you for putting this together. This was great. I can't wait for part 2. We'll talk about that.
Nice.
The sequel.
Oh, I was thinking about it about
theater near you. Coming to a theater near you.
There you go.
I appreciate
you.
In on this one. I appreciate both of you guys. Much love to you and your families, what you're passionate about, the people that have built you up to be able to be at the level you're at, to be able to share so much with so many. As I always say, conquer you, conquer today, conquer what you chase. I had the pleasure of being with Frank Crinite, Ali, and Reda on this June 4th, 2019 epic world broadcast of the greatest automotive retail salesman of all time. You saw history, folks. It happened. It's going to continue to happen, and we already know it's going to happen again in the future. Just don't be on us tomorrow because we need a little break. Always and forever, I appreciate you, gentlemen. It was an honor and a pleasure beyond all belief.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thanks, everybody.
Ken Walsh told me that you're going to close me on the deal right now. Casey told me